Hey y'all, Saul Paul here. I wanted to do a short video today on this book. It is the book of First Enoch, and this is called a contextual study guide of scripture. I got this from Sean Griffin, who is from Kingdom and Context Ministries. Now, a few words about the book of Enoch. What we call First Enoch is a composite of Jewish work from a number of different places, but written in roughly 3rd to 1st century BCE. It was originally composed in Aramaic and possibly some Hebrew, although no complete Hebrew original survives. Mostly it was found in what's called the Qumran Dead Sea Scrolls in Second Temple status. So Qumran Caves, cave number 4 produced 11 Aramaic manuscripts of First Enoch, covering about 1/5 of the later Ethiopic text, among some other non-biblical works which are found at Qumran. The Paleography dates the earliest fragments, the Book of Watchers and Astronomical Book, to 200 to 150 BCE, implying earlier composition and wide circulation in Second Temple Judaism. The early Christians and partial canonical use. So Jude 14 to 15 explicitly quotes 1 Enoch 1:9 and attributes it to Enoch, the seventh from Adam. And again, Enoch was called a prophet in Jude. The early church writers, including Tertullian, sometimes treated Enoch as prophetic, but by the 4th and 5th centuries, most major Christian canons excluded it. And it was not in the Hebrew or Septuagint lists. But the chain of custody portions were translated into Greek, partially into Latin, cited in various works. And then the only complete text of First Enoch is preserved in Ge'ez, which is Ethiopic. It entered into the canon in the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church and the Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church, as well as the canon of the Ethiopian Jews, which is Beta Israel. So for those communities, First Enoch is fully scripture and used liturgically. The Ethiopic Enoch reflects translation from an earlier Greek vorlage, which itself is derived from the Aramaic Hebrew originals. So the comparison with Qumran Aramaic shows the Ethiopic tradition is very close, though not identical. While Armenian Christianity did not generally include First Enoch, it is a official biblical canon. But Armenian scholars were aware of Enoch traditions, and some Enoch material appears in Armenian apocryphal work. The best documented full canonical acceptance is the Ethiopian or Ethiopic, whereas Armenian lists First Enoch is typically apocryphal or pseudepigrapha, so not one of the 66 or 73 books. So the reason Enoch was not widely canonized is commonly cited by Jewish and later Christian groups. It was not in the Hebrew Bible or standard Septuagint corpus. There were theological tensions emerging between the rabbinic and Christian orthodoxy, like fallen angels, detailed angelology or kind of a history of angels, and also cosmic speculation. And there's a lack of universal reception in some circles like Qumran and early Christians, but not broadly acknowledged across. Yet it is in use and is clear influence in the New Testament, in Jude, 2 Peter, and Revelation imagery. And it shows that in the 1st centuries BC, First Enoch functioned as a major theological voice, even if it later stood outside of most formal canons. So I'm going to get into the book of First Enoch because I do believe that it is possibly scripture. I also believe that there's some very interesting insights that we can gain from taking a look at this book. So again, this is First Enoch by Sean Griffin and Kingdom and Context Ministries. One of the things that I like about this book, and I'll just show you an example here on the first page, you have the text on one side and you'll see the color codes, and on the other side you'll see additional paired references from canon as well as some additional apocrypha. In terms of the ways to find context, there's different types of context here. So you'll see color-coded context. This includes things like Son of the Father, the New Jerusalem, the Eternal Torah, the creation, the priesthoods, the return of the king, the covenants, the first resurrection, the garden, agency, Sheol or Hades, the Nephilim, and Apollyon in Babylon. So as I go through and read each chapter of First Enoch, what I'm going to talk to is some of the context explained and also the supporting scriptures as we go through First Enoch. So let's get started in the next video.